Welcome to the UNA Baseball Review. Here are your hosts, Coach Mike Keene and Jeff Hodges.
Hello and welcome to the first 2015 edition of the UNA Baseball Review. I'm Jeff Hodges along with UNA head baseball coach Mike Keene. And Coach Keene, obviously the weather a big topic this year. We'll talk about that in a minute. But above that, the UNA Lions off to a great 9-3 start. You're 3-2 in the conference. Swept a series against West Alabama and had some good success against West Florida. So all things considered, I think the Lions are in about as good a position right now as you could hope for.
Yeah, it's to say the least with the weather, it's been an unusual start to the year because it looked like it was going to be a really good weather year and everything started off pretty good. And went down to West Florida. It was a little disappointing. Win the first game and then just didn't play really well the next two games. And then you had a 2-week break where we didn't play a game, and we were able to kind of get a few things done. And I really didn't know what to expect with West Alabama, but I was really proud of the way our guys, especially the pitching and defense, really did a great job on that series and against a very good West Alabama team. And to get that sweep was huge.
Overall, the Lions playing pretty well in every area of the game. You're fielding .976, you're batting .307, and the ERA is a little over 3, but a lot of that came in one game against Stillman. But really, I guess the most impressive thing to me has been the defensive play so far.
Right, and that's something that we preach about. You know how I am. I'm a big defensive guy, and I like us to play. And we kind of challenged some guys to don't let balls drop. We feel we got a lot of speed in the outfield, and we got good speed on the infield. We actually got good team speed this year, so we need to utilize that and get to balls that most teams can't get to. And I think West Alabama was really, that was evident that game, because I tell you what, we ran some balls down and some huge plays and really didn't allow West Alabama to get in a roll. So hopefully we can continue to go, and we're obviously playing Valdosta State. As the show is shooting, we're going to really need that defense.
Dylan Boston, with a year under his belt at third base, has really played well so far this season defensively. I guess the guy you really have to talk about is Brett Guzay. He shattered his cheekbone, was able to come back pretty quickly, even though wearing a face mask, made some tremendous plays in that West Alabama series and really sparked our defense.
Yeah, Brett was, he's kind of a throwback. He's such a tough kid and such a great defensive player, and part of the reason he got hurt just for his effort, and then we kind of been telling him to dive for a ball, so it was a collision on one of those flares into the outfield, just kind of a fluke accident. Obviously, he had surgery before the West Florida series. We had no idea how long. They're talking 4 to 6 weeks. So I thought at best would be the Valdosta series. But for him to come back with West Alabama and then play like he did says a lot about him. So we were glad to have him in the lineup, and he brings a lot of energy to our ball team.
Got a lot of new faces in the outfield this year, and defensively they've played well. In particular, Dylan Calhoun in the opening game against Miles caught a fly out, threw a guy out trying to tag, and then another tremendous play in the West Alabama series, eating a little gravel out there on the warning track.
Right, and again, that's Dylan's not only he's having a really good offensive year, just a good all-around player. We've had him kind of in right field, we've had him in left field, but that play he made against West Alabama, because at the timing, that was a sure double that he took away late in the game in a one-run ball game. So it was just a matter of just making a commitment to go get the play, and I think that's what now that we have Jake Smith's kind of gone back in the lineup, we've kind of been mixing up, but with Calhoun, Pugh, and Smith, all three of those guys have pretty quality arms. So it's right now it's been a really good defensive outfield.
With the weather, you've lost 4 games for good this season, an entire series with Delta State, another game with West Alabama, and you have 3 that you have to reschedule. But even beyond that, y'all haven't really been able to get on the field, even practice on a lot of the days, and that's really hurt you.
That was really the biggest concern kind of going into West Alabama. We haven't played for 2 weeks, but we were kind of on and off the field. We finally got to hit on the field, and then you think, okay, well, we finally get a couple games in, and then it turns around and weather rains, every day, so we cannot get on the field either Monday, Tuesday, or all this week. So now you got to try to do it again and see how much focus. And I thought our guys had great focus. That's what we've been preaching about. Nobody really cares that you couldn't get outside when you go play that conference series. You got to go try to win games. So hopefully we'll stay focused again, stay concentrated, and have a good weekend.
Congratulations to Coach Keene. Your 200th win at UNA and the 3-2 win over West Alabama. And we've been tracking that early in the year. We thought it might come against Delta State, and we had so many games that were lost. Actually kind of lost track of it when it actually happened, but congratulations. That was a great milestone.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I actually at the time, because of the way the weather is and season's going, I was just so, just pleased that we won a couple games and won the, the Saturday doubleheader against West Alabama. And our manager, Zach Torberg, comes up and he has a baseball, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, I'm trying to think to my head who did something that got a baseball that was the first time, and I'm trying to think maybe it was Hubby because he had the RBIs, and I didn't know what it was, and all of a sudden I really appreciate the team. They presented me with a game baseball and 200 wins, so it was a nice milestone.
We'll take a quick break, and we'll have more Lion baseball for you when we come back.
TNT Fireworks is proud to support the University of North Alabama and the Lion baseball team. Like the UNA baseball program, TNT Fireworks is committed to excellence. Our product, service, and teamwork are the reasons we are America's #1 selling fireworks brand. Check us out at tntfireworks.com. And remember, if it's not TNT, it's not fireworks. TNT Fireworks encourages the entire Shoals area to support head coach Mike Keene and his UNA Lions by attending a game at Mike D. Lane Field. Roar Lions!
What's going on up there?
Welcome home, Chuck. This is all for you.
Oh.
Are you serious?
Lieutenant Chuck Nat home.
Tell the world I'm coming home. Let the rain walk.
We're here with UNA senior pitcher Brantley Claunch of Florence, and Brantley's been a 4-year member of the UNA baseball team. Brantley, you came in a good squad in 2012. It was a talented team. You came in with a group of 5 freshman pitchers, and you had a chance to step in immediately as a reliever. Was that a transition for you, not only from coming to high school to college, but also in the role as a reliever?
It was an adjustment. From high school, all I knew was being a starter, and coming in and being a relief guy. It was different, but at the same time, I was ready to do whatever they wanted me to do and step into that role and do the best of my ability.
You were 7-1 that season, had a 2.52 ERA, and one of the main reasons that UNA made the playoffs that season, 39-18, and that had to be a great experience for you. But unfortunately, it's one you haven't had a chance to repeat. But great experience going to the regional as a freshman.
It was definitely an awesome experience. I hope to be able to experience it again this year. It was one that I won't forget. You know, we didn't do too well in the regionals, but it was still fun to be able to get there and be able to be a big part of that.
In 2013, you came back, had a team a little less offensive and struggled a little bit, but able to bounce back last season and transition into a role as a starter. And what was that like for you?
That was really awesome, because that was my main goal the whole time, was being able to work into that starting role, that starting position. And once I got it, I just made sure to continue to work like I had the past 2 years and better myself to where it would, in the end, result in a better team.
Did you have to change anything in your training or whatever to transition back to pitching more innings?
No, not really, because I had made sure to condition myself well when I was a reliever. So it was, because I was a long relief, which you have to be conditioned well for that anyways. So I didn't really have to do much more. My arm, it would get tired more often, and I would have to do more, maybe icing here and there. But other than that, it wasn't really a big transition.
5-5 last season, and off to a great start this season. 3-0 wins already over West Florida and West Alabama. That's got to be a good feeling, but also, you know, knowing now that you're in a leadership role on this pitching staff and #1 starter.
Yes, it was a very good feeling, but I just know that anything can change. It doesn't matter who we play. I just need to continue to keep my mind straight on my keys to success and my goals and things like that, and just help my team give my team the best chance of winning whenever I go out there on the mound.
You and a lot of players on the UNA team have taken on playing summer league ball, played in the Northwoods League. Why did you just make the decision to do that, and how did it help you?
I made the decision to do that because the Northwoods I saw as a really good opportunity to be seen, to go to the next level, if you know, because I'm very interested in that. I saw that as one of my best chances, and plus I had several other guys going up there at the same time, and I knew that the year before going to Derby, I didn't see myself getting in the best league ever, but at the same time, my coach had told me it was a pretty good league, and so I saw it as a great opportunity to be seen again, you know, get exposed, get that exposure, and so plus it was one experience that I would never change anything about it, because it was one thing where I met new people, I got to play against some of the elite players in college, and it's made me better.
And congratulations, you're our 2014 Bob Stevenson Award winner for your community service, for your academic performance and all that. Academic All-Gulf South Conference, you're involved with the Student Athlete Advisory Committee and several other community activities. How do you find time to get all that done?
Well, it's just balancing my schedule. It's hard, but at the same time, it's possible. Anybody can do it. It's one of those things where you just have to find that healthy balance, and really it's not that stressful. You have certain days where you can do some things, certain days you can't do other things, but really baseball, it takes up a lot of your time, but it's not a huge amount of time.
And final question, what do the Lions have to do this season to be able to have a chance to go back to the postseason as a veteran pitcher on the squad? What kind of things do y'all need to do as we progress through the season?
We just need to continue to stay together as a team, help each other out. Like when, say I don't execute a pitch, my hitter or the defense backs me up. I back up the defense whenever they make an error, things like that. We just have to continue to work together, get better each and every day, and never take a day.
So our senior pitcher, Brantley Claunch, here on the UNA Player Profile. Coach Keene, a great profile there with Brantley Claunch, and he's really become a leader on your pitching staff, 3-0 this season, off to a great start with wins over West Florida and West Alabama.
Yeah, you know, Brantley came in as a true freshman, you know, basically a walk-on, a real good story, but had a great freshman year and just continues to change roles. And last year took over that #1 spot, had a great summer, and is off to a really good start. And you know, like I said, he just does a lot of stuff right, you know, academically off the field, and is one of the hardest workers. And hopefully it continues for he deserves to have a really good year.
Brantley in that #1 starting role, Riley Sanderson 3-1 in the #2 spot. Struggled a little bit in the third starting position, but really the weather's affected you there as far as being able for any other pitchers to step up, show you in the middle of the week, you know, that they can perform for you.
Yeah, that's probably one of the biggest challenges going from the rest of the season. You know, we got to get some midweek games in, even the Sunday games. You know, we're trying to get Conkle out at the field again, get out there and pitch. You know, he's ready to go, and then doesn't get a shot, and doesn't get it again, and you're kind of waiting on him. Well, you know, you got Kyle Stevenson who's waiting to get that midweek start, and it just has not happened. But we got, you know, Smirnoff's got to get out there. Sean has not got on the mound, so we got a lot of guys that need to get out on the field, and the weather's really created a little bit of a problem with that. And when we get them out there, they're just going to have to be ready to go.
And even talk about the relief roles. Brantley and Riley have really done a good job as starters, so you haven't needed a lot of relief. Westerhouse has gotten some word, but some of the other guys that you'd like to see, Todd Gibson's gotten some.
Right.
But talk about a little bit about the new guys and, you know, what roles you hope they can play.
Well, that was one of the things at West Florida. We did get a few in there. I know Todd Gibson got in there. You know, Blake Talley got out there. We really haven't got Austin Carpenter out there, and it was good to see him get out of West Alabama. And you know, he pitched really well after Brantley pitched a great 7 innings. Came in the 2 innings, he looked really sharp. Then obviously Westy's probably been out the most of anybody. But like I said, you know, that's the thing, trying to get those guys out there. You know, you got Bailey that hasn't really got out there a lot. You got a little bit out at one stretch, but he needs to get back out there. So now obviously if we can continue to have our starters go as 7, 8 innings, you know, we'll take it. And if those guys don't get out there, they don't get out there. But you know, we're going to need them down the stretch, and you know, we'll have to see if the weather changes a little bit. And once we get going in a rhythm, we'll be a little bit different. And
with the schedule changes, your 33 of your games are conference games. So when these guys do get their chance now, it's going to be in a league game that really matters more than a midweek game.
Right, and that's what's so different about when you start conference so early. The games are so important. All the games are important. The midweek games are important, but you're kind of jumping right into the conference, and you got to throw a guy in there maybe hasn't been out there, but yet he's got to perform. And I think that's the part of just making sure they stay focused and stay ready.
We'll take another break, and we'll have more Lion baseball for you when we come back.
He is the most interesting man in the Shoals. He is an artist, a writer, a philosopher, a historian, musician, astronomer, wine connoisseur, environmentalist, Peace Prize recipient. When he speaks, people hang on each and every word, especially the verbs. His personality is so magnetic that he cannot carry credit cards. It is said that once he taught a German shepherd how to bark in Spanish and taught a horse to read his email. Someone recently asked him what he did for fun, and here is what he said.
I don't eat out every day, but when I do, I eat at City Hardware because to me, it's the most interesting restaurant in the Shoals.
We're here with UNA senior pitcher Jacob Westerhouse of Huntsville. Jacob, a 4-year letterman for the Lions, came here in 2012, and it had to be a great experience for you as a freshman to join the UNA program, you know, your first year in college, and be on a team that was able to go to the NCAA regionals, but also to have a chance to just step in and play as a freshman. You had the 3rd most appearances on the team, and just really had a great freshman season.
Yeah, it was awesome coming in here my freshman year, and they really set the tone early on how this program really operates. I know the past 2 years I haven't been where we want to be, but that freshman year was special. Going, you know, we were ranked #1 in the country at one point, and made a regional. It was a lot of fun. You know, we wish we could have done more and won a couple games down there, but yeah, that sticks with you forever.
When you come in that season, we had a pretty well-established starting lineup, but there were 5 freshman pitchers that came in and really took all aspects of the relief roles, and you were one of those and continued on. The 2013 season, not where you wanted to be, but definitely put in your work in the off-season and came back last year and were just gangbusters, 4 saves for the Lions, and just a tremendous season.
Yeah, freshman year, you know, I came in and I was okay, and I had really high expectations for myself and the coaching staff too. And then, yeah, I was disappointed in 2013, but that summer and fall I worked real hard. Coach Hancock and Coach Keene were working with me, and they always had faith in me, and everything fell into place last year. And really hope to improve on that. I mean, it was good, but there's still a lot of room to get better this year.
32 appearances last season. I think that's where you want to be, having that consistency of being in and day out. And you're off to a great start this season, but we're not able to play a lot of games. How's that rain and the rescheduling and all that affecting the team and affecting you as a pitcher?
You know, it's tough when we're going 2 weeks without playing, and you got to stay sharp. But it is what it is, and we're getting our work in inside. It's really all up in your head, making sure we're still getting the work in. And if you're mentally strong, then you'll be fine.
And you're education major. What's your plans after UNA? Do you want to try to play professionally, or you want to teach?
Well, I mean, ideally I would get to play professional ball, but that is, right now I'm focused on winning, and with that, if I'm doing well, maybe that'll happen, maybe not. But if playing doesn't work out, I'm going to go into coaching, either in the high school level or the college level. I haven't really decided yet.
Yeah, the Lions off to a 9-3 start. You're one of the few players remaining on the team who were part of that NCAA tournament team back in 2012. What do you feel like the Lions need to do as we progress through the season to maybe have a chance to do that again?
You know, we have the right guys. We have the right attitude. It's just about winning those close games, and we've done a good job at it so far. We really got to focus on those weekend games, win these midweeks whenever we do get out there, but just stay mentally strong and knowing we can do it with a lot of confidence. I think we have the team to do it.
Thanks for being with us, UNA senior pitcher Jacob Westerhouse. We want to thank TVA Credit Union for making those player profile segments possible. And Coach Keene, Jacob Westerhouse, a very important part of this team. His role has really grown each year. Last year, lights out as your closer, and this year off to another great start with a win and 2 saves.
Right, you know, Jacob's, you know, he's another one who's been in our program a long time, just done a great job, and you know, he's got good stuff and continues to get better in the progress he's made throughout his career. And again, we're going to need a big year out of him. And like I said, West Alabama, once they gave up that hit, boy, he was really tough and shut it down and gave us that good 3-2 win.
Of course, we want to talk a little bit about the Lion hitters as well. UNA batting .307 as a team, and the guy leading the way right now, Brett Guzay, hitting .519 for you. And even when he went out, those few games, Kyle Crabtree came in and gave him a chance to play. He's your second leading hitter right now, .429, and now they're really a great combo up the middle for you on defense.
Yeah, it was one of those, you know, early in the year we were trying to figure out exactly what was going to be the best defensive team, the best offensive team, and you know, we were actually Crabtree was actually in the game when Brett got hurt, so we had to slide him over to shortstop, but we were going to try the next game, put those two up the middle and just see kind of how it was going to play out. You know, Heathwood also plays outfield, so it was kind of making that move and seeing which way we're going to go. Well, he was forced to go into play, and I was really proud of the way he played at West Florida, because you're talking about a guy that has really been out of the game, hasn't really got, and had to go down to play into a very tough place to play in West Florida, and just did a good job at shortstop. And then obviously having those two up the middle, you can see you know, those two up the middle, you get a lot of speed, a lot of quickness, and then it gets, which is basically Crabtree has a shortstop's arm at second base.
And Dylan Calhoun off to a great start as well, .410, batting third on the third highest average on the team. But Dylan Boston doing what he's done. He drove in 86 runs over the first 2 seasons. He already has 16 this year, and he's batting .333. So it's good to see his average come back up to where it was his first year.
Yeah, and I think the layoff probably hurt him as much as anybody for not playing for 2 weeks, because the West Florida series, I mean, he was really locked on, and you know, they were trying to get him with curveballs, mix it up, and he was hitting everything. They try to come in, he'd pull, they go away, he was going away. So he was really hot. His timing was a little bit off against West Alabama, but you know, I think just the way his approach has been really good. He's having a solid year, and obviously he's well ahead of anybody in RBI, so he's a big RBI guy for us, and we know what kind of effort we're going to get out of him every game.
And one more area to mention, behind the plate, Kevin Hall hitting extremely well, .357, but Jess Smith also .333.
Yeah, both you know, new catchers coming into our system, and both those two have done a good job, not only behind the plate, but offensively have really done more than probably what we thought. Kevin Hall is coming off from Meridian, hit really well for them, and really has come on, and then we put him up into the 5-hole this past weekend, and especially that first game, he was 3 for 3, was a real big reason we won that game.
We'll take one final break and have more Lion baseball for you when we come back.
Hi, I'm Mike Keene, head baseball coach at the University of North Alabama. Have you ever heard the saying, great baseball players are made in the off season? As a college baseball coach, I can tell which high school recruits are on a weight program and which ones are not. Help your young athlete reach the top of his sport by training with the personal trainers at the Courthouse Racket Club. Our 5 trainers are ready to work at your athlete's pace and your schedule. Try our 3andMe training program designed for 3 athletes to work with a trainer and lower the cost to fit any budget. Call Ken Irby at 764-0034 to set up a program designed especially for your young athlete. The Courthouse Racket Club, proudly serving the Shoals for 30 years.
TNT Fireworks is proud to support the University of North Alabama and the Lion baseball team. Like the UNA baseball program, TNT Fireworks is committed to excellence. Our products, service, and teamwork are the reasons we are America's #1 selling fireworks brand. Check us out at TNTfireworks.com. And remember, if it's not TNT, it's not fireworks. TNT Fireworks encourages the entire Shoals area to support head coach Mike Keene and his UNA Lions by attending a game at Mike D. Lane Field. Roar Lions!
A great combination, Frostbite and Montague's. Florence's first self-serve yogurt shop has over 50 rotating flavors and over 100 rotating toppings. Customizable frozen yogurt. When the cup is full, the toppings are close by. Just weigh and pay. All sandwiches at Montague's are under $5. The best Philly cheesesteak and Reuben in town. Delicious sides, and they cater. Get a UNA student discount, and they accept the main card. Like Frostbite on Facebook. Frostbite and Montague's, 1611 North Pine Street, Florence. Open now, Frostbite on the UNA campus.
TVA Community Credit Union is proudly open to the entire community, offering unequaled service and convenience.
They are the TVA Community Credit Union, and they make you feel like you're part of the community, part of the family. Customer service is great. I mean, they're great with my wife and I, my daughter.
We bought all of our houses, all of our cars, everything through them. With a little one running around, I don't have a lot of time, so it's real simple just to pull my mobile up and go straight to the site and check my account.
I recommend them all the time, to be honest with you. For one, I mean, their rates are great. Try to work with you to get you the lowest rates, to get you where you need to be, set you up for the future. Don't feel like I'm a number at all. I feel like I'm a part of the family.
From mobile banking to the latest platform in online banking, we make managing your financing fast and easy. Our members are the owners of our credit union, so there are no high-priced stockholders to pay, allowing us to give our members totally free accounts and amazing loan rates. TVA Community Credit Union, everybody's credit union.
We're here with UNA senior third baseman Dylan Boston, and it's one thing to say a guy's a 3-year starter, but you've been able to start all 115 games that you've been here at UNA. But local guy from Sheffield, went away for a year to junior college to play baseball. Talk a little bit about your decision to come back and play at UNA.
Well, I went away from home, and I'm more of a kind of homebody guy, so I'd always known UNA had a good program, and I thought about coming here straight out of high school, but I got an opportunity to go to Florida, and I thought, you know, young guy, Florida, you know, I thought it'd be fun, but I actually wanted to come back home and play for the Lions.
And a tremendous hitter in high school, but things have changed a little bit from your high school days to now with, as far as the bats and balls, they've kind of deadened things a little bit. That has to change the way you approach your at-bats at the plate.
Well, I think, you know, in high school you get away with kind of trying to hit home runs sometimes because the bats are so good, but now you have to keep your same approach, and when you hit a home run, you actually, I mean, you got to hit it good. You know, you can't just get away with a weak swing and still hit a home run.
You had a tremendous season. Your sophomore year as a designated hitter for the Lions, drove in 43 runs, earned all Gulf South Conference honors. Came back last year and you hit about 100 points less. Our team didn't score a lot of runs, but you still drove in 43 runs. How were you able to do that?
I think middle of the season, you know, I noticed I wasn't hitting good, you know, as normal, and I noticed that I wasn't doing as good. So, you know, when people were on base, I tried to find a way to get runners in. You know, the hits weren't there, but I was still trying to sack flies and hitting the ball through the middle of the infield, letting them run score, even though I wasn't getting hits.
You started out initially as a designated hitter. You played a little bit at first base, but I guess midway of last season, I know Coach Keene and probably yourself felt like you found a home at third base and really progressed, and that defensive progression has really moved on into this season.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I'll never forget, it was, you know, when Matthew Tittle got hurt. I played third base in the Purple and Gold series in the fall, and I made like a couple diving plays. Just all of a sudden, he's like, well, we'll try you out there. And, you know, I was kind of hesitant at first, and then I started getting better at it, and this year I really tried to work on what Coach Keene's telling me, so I'll be better.
UNA off to a great start this season as well as you, but a lot of games rained out, a lot of games moved around. What kind of effect does that have on the team, not being able to have a consistent approach?
I think the challenges is our work ethic. You know, we have to stay locked in all the time. You know, whether we're practicing in the gym and not getting much done, you know, we have to really lock into what we're doing. And the chances we do get on the field, we really need to focus. That way we get work in and get ready for the games we got coming up.
the Lions off to a 9-3 start. I know postseason aspirations are out there. What does our team have to do to continue to progress through the season and maybe have a chance to reach the NCAA regionals?
I think just, keep playing hard. Against West Alabama we had a lot of diving plays and everybody playing, 100% diving, never know unless you dive. And as long as everybody stays locked in, we got to handle the adversity of not being able to practice outside and still going down to Valdosta and hopefully getting a series win.
Thanks for being with us, UNA senior third baseman Dylan Boston. Welcome back to the UNA Baseball Review. Coach Dylan Boston in that last profile segment, and a guy who's really improved defensively once he made a home over at third base, and also is hitting back up this season.
Right, and the thing about him defensively, I know that was one of the questions when he came into our program, and we'd actually moved him to first base, and he was really going to become a very good first baseman. And just due to injuries last year, we had to move him to third base, and halfway through the year, he just continued to progress so much. So we decided to keep him at third base, and now he's got all those reps, and he's going to work. He's going to work really hard and done everything we asked him to do defensively, and look forward to him continue to have a good year defensively.
Let's talk a little about the Gulf South Conference standings, and if you want to see something unique, you have to look at the standings this year. You're going to have to follow them really close. Yes. There's going to be 11 series, 33 games, but with all the weather and those kind of things. Right now the Lions are 3-2, 1 game above 500. We're in 4th place out of 12 schools, so that tells you how close it's going to be this season.
Yeah, it's going to, and the difference is with everybody, this year, maybe a couple lost, maybe 2 games, but with as many games are going to be lost, you're looking at percentages are going to come in to make maybe an impact on whether you're going to get in or not. And this is, again, not everybody gets into the tournament this year. It is the top 6 teams. So it's a little bit different than it has in the past. So, it is kind of interesting to see. You're sitting at 3-2 and you got another team sitting at 6-2. So you have 8 teams and it's 8 games and you're 3 or 4 games below somebody else that hasn't played a game. So, it's right now, like talk every, you got to try to win all those series and not leave the percentages up to chance right now.
The Lions got a big 6-game homestand coming up, and as you said during the break, weather permitting, we're going to have to look at that. But Tuesday, I got Trevecca coming in at 3 o'clock. On Thursday, Miles at 2 o'clock. But then a big 3-game Gulf South Conference home series against Christian Brothers. And on Saturday, you're going to do something really special and have Josh Willingham Appreciation Day.
Yeah, it was, again, we're looking forward to hopefully the weather will actually change and give us an opportunity to play all those games. But, it was something that Josh Willingham obviously was a very good player in our program, played 10+ years in the big leagues. We wanted to kind of have an appreciation for what all he's done, not only as a player in our program, but in the community. It's an opportunity for him to throw out the first pitch, and he is, nice enough to stay around. He'll be available to sign some autographs after the game gets going and through the game. Plus, with anybody in a Little League uniform or Youth League uniform, they get in free. So it's an opportunity to meet Josh, up close and personal.
And a great thing for Josh last season, close out his professional career with a chance to play in the World Series with the Kansas City Royals. Also Sergio Romo, who pitched for the Giants. So you had 2 players from a Division II program in the World Series. That's got to be extremely unique.
I don't know, if it's happened before, I'm not sure who's done it, but especially for a Division II program, Sergio Romo pitched for us 1 year, and then Josh Willingham, I was kind of hoping he would get to the World Series, or at least postseason, and got there. So it was really unique to see 2 former UNA players playing in the World Series. It made for an interesting series, and it kind of, for me, watched a little bit closer than probably you do most of them, and it was just locked in and ended up being a great series too.
And again, a 6-game homestand coming up for UNA, beginning with Trevecca and Miles, 3-game weekend series against Christian Brothers, and the Josh Willingham Appreciation Day Saturday. Hope to see you there.
Thank you for watching the UNA Baseball Review. Please join us again next Sunday at 11:30.